GBNEWS with Stephen and Anne on your TV, on your radio and online.
Should we go through the front pages and then we'll have a look inside the Sundays? So we'll start with the Telegraph. Leads with a photo, really, of Liz Truss looking rather like Margaret Thatcher, I think. The paper reports that Truss will put an end to Stalinist housing targets, whilst Rishi Sunak promises in the Sunday Times, Rishi Sunak promises to ditch EU laws holding Britain back.
The Sunday Times has a headline, Mordaunt's gender claims undermined by leaked papers, focusing on her views on gender self-identification.
The Sunday Mirror combined two big stories together, Boris's leadership and the heatwave. It reports the Prime Minister is hosting a farewell party at Chequers tomorrow, while he actually missed the second Cobra meeting about the heatwave.
The Observer has a picture of the wildfire in southern Europe and a warning from Alok Sharma. He's the MP, of course, who was president for the COP26 summit, if you remember. He said he could resign if the new Prime Minister dumps net zero.
And the Daily Star Sunday says the heatwave will be followed by a baby boom. It reports that 41 degrees Celsius will put us in the mood for romance. I would have thought it's actually too hot for that sort of thing.
I would think so. Yeah. Good grief.
Well, we've got with us now somebody who'll know all about that. Well, two people.
Really?
Well, I don't know, really.
Well, which one? I don't know which way to look.
Definitely not me.
It's definitely not me.
We've got with us Dawn Neeson and Kevin Woodford, of course, chef and broadcaster. So I was saying that because I was thinking, Dawn, that you used to be on the Star.
I used to edit the Daily Star.
But you're not responsible for that particular front page, so I don't know why I said that.
And I've been married for 36 years. I've forgotten all about that sort of thing.
Well,
no matter what the weather.
40-degree heat. For heaven's
40 degrees. Well, there was some advice the other day, going completely off-piste on this one already, but some advice the other day that if you are going to have some summer loving, as they've called it quite politely, do it in the shower, a cold shower.
No, that's...
I don't think that would work.
No?
Well, seriously, not cold water.
No.
Honestly.
No, that's not a good look for boys, is it?
No, it's not. It's a deflator.
Anyway, moving swiftly on.
I think we better.
Swiftly on to the Sunday Times, Dawn.
Let's talk about it.
Looking at Penny Mordaunt, I don't... Like, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't understand why all of these... The trans issue is people... It's an easy goal, isn't it, for people just to have a dig at?
It's been completely weaponised. I mean,
Which
I
find very disturbing.
Yeah, are we really going to choose the next Prime Minister on their views on that alone?
No, we're not. What we're going to choose the next Prime Minister... Well, we're not actually choosing, I mean, we have no say in it. But what the decision is going to come down to is surely the cost of living, and I think that's what most people are caring about in this country at the moment. It is not this. However, in the dirty tricks and the black arts, as it's been described variously by people, anything goes. And the thing is, I mean, if they have got rid of Boris Johnson because he was a bit economical with the truth occasionally, Penny Mordaunt has also been proven by these more leaked papers, leaked by who you have to ask, that she is also a bit economical with the truth, because back in 2020, the government supported self-identification when she was in charge of the equalities, and after she left, that went back. And she's given many quotes in the past about supporting, in particular, self-identification. And I think that's the issue. So you can sort of like just say, I'm a man or I'm a woman without any medical backup or going through any medical counselling. And that was the main issue there. So she has said it, and in the Channel 4 debate the other night, Kemi Badenoch pulled her on it quite rightly, and Kemi has been quite vocal on single-sex spaces, so she pulled her on it there. So there was that division there. But I mean, this is going to come back to haunt Penny every single time. And of course, there are other issues as well going on with Penny, but it does seem the knives are out for her big time. But as you say, Stephen, it is just the fact that it's been weaponised so much, it's almost overtaking things, and it is becoming an issue. Look, I feel strongly about this issue as a woman who's fought for women's rights, so I do feel strongly about it, but it's not my main worry. It is actually the fact that I'm worried about the economy, and the issue is that she was economical with the truth already, and I don't want another Prime Minister that's economical with the
But
truth.
Frankie, you look at all of them. I mean, and all politicians, you could say, aren't most of them probably at some point, at least in their careers, economical with the truth?
I don't think there's any question about that. For me, the big concern was the fact that there is this question mark hanging over with regards to honesty, truth, and I do think that's very, very important in politics, to be quite frank.
Well, that's why allegedly they got rid of Boris Johnson.
Absolutely, and so now we're faced with the same situation where we're looking at her as a potential PM. I mean, for me, I want somebody that I can really put faith in. And I have to be honest with you, having watched the first debate, I was struggling to find somebody, and this is a peculiar thing to say, but I was looking for Boris again, for goodness sake, because at least there I knew what I was dealing with.
Do you know, a lot of our viewers have said the same.
That's how I felt, honestly. I could
said they want to tick a box that says none of the above.
Well, the thing is, when we were having this debate in the green room just Kevin and I, and it's like, if Boris was included, I'm not a big fan of Boris, but if he was included in this debate amongst the leadership battle, do you think he would win?
Wow. Wow.
Probably, and it's interesting because Boris is not he is economical with the truth.
Yeah.
We know that. He is a bit of a scoundrel. We know that, but it's the fact that it's sort of not hidden. So at least you sort of know what you're buying. Whereas with the others, I mean, I certainly know a fair bit of juice on a number of the candidates and on a number of people who said, I'm not going to stand in this and I know why they're not standing.
Yes.
It's not for the reasons given.
Yeah.
And it's and you sort of think, well, what? No one's being honest.
I think it's a shame that Ben Wallace didn't put his hat in the ring.
Oh, well, there you go. A few people have said that.
Well, you've been looking at what Boris was up to yesterday.
yeah.
What he wasn't up to was he didn't go to the Cobra meeting.
No, he's missed quite a few Cobra meetings, hasn't he? 5. And Angela Rayner sort of, she summed it up. And Boris was, they've called it the heat rave, because he's having a rather big bash at Chequers today, in fact. It's not the wedding bash that was originally planned.
Yeah.
This is a leaving party. And I've checked my phone, I don't know, 5 times yesterday. It's still not come through yet, and he's going to have to get a move on because I'm working here today. But in all seriousness, I mean, Angela Rayner made an interesting comment. She said that the public will have no confidence in this zombie government responding swiftly and decisively to this national emergency as this disgraced PM prepares to party while Britain boils. Well, go back to Boris, okay, there is a Cobra meeting and he should be there, realistically, he should be there, of course he should. But I have a problem with this national emergency thing. For me, a national emergency, Dawn and I were talking about this in Green Room, for me a national emergency is when there are bombs raining on me.
Yeah.
That's when the whole of the city is on fire, that's a national emergency. When we've got 50% chance of there being 40 degrees heat, well, okay, there's 50% chance it won't be, it might be 38 degrees, it's still going to be hot, whatever, and it'll probably last for 3 days, and then it'll be cold again,
And so it's not even national, is it?
It's not.
The people are messaging from Yorkshire going, well, it's raining.
Yes, that's right.
We lived in Spain, we lived in Marbella for many, many years. From June right through until September, it was seriously hot. I think the problem we've got with all of this is the fact that what we should be looking at is perhaps if we've got this climate crisis continuing, which we obviously have, it is getting hotter, there's no question about that. Maybe what we should be looking towards is making sure that our infrastructure, our houses are correctly planned for that. To any planning permission that goes through, there should be air conditioning if that's going to be the case. Schools should already plan that they need to start earlier and finish, earlier as well. So I think that side of the climate crisis, for me, is very, very important. But Boris, maybe he should be there. Maybe he should finish his role as PM correctly.
I'll tell you what I do find a bit galling, and it's the playing politics. I know that's what politicians do, right? But with Angela Rayner, who I've got a lot of time for, I've got to be honest, but if she's saying, well, it's a disgrace that Boris Johnson isn't taking control of this.
Yeah, well, she's the one wanted him out.
You want him out?
Correct.
Yeah.
So then we'd have an interim prime minister who they would say, well, they're not a duly elected leader, so they shouldn't be taking control.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever happens, you can't win.
But Stephen, but also at the end of the day, seriously, the difference between him being there or Kit Malthouse chairing the meeting, I don't see there's any difference in that whatsoever.
Do you begrudge him his party today?
Sorry?
Do you begrudge Boris his leaving party at Chequers today?
Look, he's either in charge or he isn't in charge. That's my issue with this story. And the fact that I don't begrudge him leaving party. Of course, he does like a party. We all know that. But I just think he's either in charge or he's not in charge. So, and this is a Cobra meeting, and he's missed 5 in the past, Dan. It's not.
But there have been more than in this government than any other government.
We do like a Cobra meeting.
It used to be unusual. It used to be, in times of war or something, there was a Cobra.
That's right.
We did have the pandemic, to be fair, I guess, and.
Yeah, there have been a lot of Cobra meetings. Maybe he's just a bit bored with them, but
It's the Prime Minister still.
I know.
Right, should we have a look at, because we've only got a couple of minutes left, should we have a look at this baby boom story in the Star?
Oh, seeing as you've gone on about, I know you're keen to get to this story, Stephen, I can tell. Right, okay, Summer of Love sparks a baby boom. Evidently, the average young adult is set to have 2 extra sex sessions, says a poll, because the heat releases sex chemicals inside your brain, and a baby boom is due in 9 months' time. Now, this is all serious research coming from scientists. I'm not making this but just made this, it's like, it's really hot. I mean, I'm sorry, it's like, who's even thinking about it?
I always thought there were baby booms after a period of very cold weather.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah, because you
Well, we were meant to have a
snuggle under
baby
the
boom
duvet.
after the pandemic as well, weren't we? We were all locked up
Yeah.
together, and that didn't happen.
Didn't happen,
No. Look, it's a bit of fun. It's that the heat wave is sort of like being made into like a zombie apocalypse in most of the papers, but at least the Daily Star's having a bit of fun with it.
What I don't understand, if we can pull up the front page again, just to show you, and I shall describe it to you if you are listening on the radio this morning. There's a picture of a very pretty young lady in a bikini with Rabsy Nesbitt, if you remember him. And what I don't understand is why...
Because the other story in the Daily Star too, the string vests have become an unlikely heatwave hit with sales soaring.
Oh, please.
And if you turn inside the Daily Star, they've got a picture, I don't know who this chap is, sorry, apologies, but a very attractive young man in a very trendy string vest next to someone who is none of those things. And so...
No, look, even on somebody with great body, a string vest is just no, please.
No,
We all agree on this.
You know you'd like to see Stephen in a string vest.
Oh, please.
Oh, please, no. Stephen doesn't want to look in the mirror and see Stephen in a string vest.
No, I don't. I definitely don't. How we move from that to a quick look at Love Island in the Sun, Kevin?
Well, I'm very proud because I've never watched the programme.
No, me neither.
Never. I have no interest in it whatsoever. But it's quite a serious programme actually. This particular story is quite serious because this young man, Jack O'Neill, apparently was one of the stars in this particular series, and he's walked out of it, and he's walked out of it in tears, stormed out in tears, because of the pressure placed upon him during this particular program. The thing about this is that this young man has ADHD, yeah, and he stopped taking his treatment 7 years ago. Now, my question is, the responsibility of the TV show is to make sure that somebody like him isn't put under that pressure. These programs are, they're usually successful. You know, The Jungle and all of them, you know, and Big Brother. But they do place pressure upon people who aren't experienced with the media. They do without question. And we know that the producers place situations in front of them which is going to create even more stress. So I think it's a sad day that this has happened to this young guy.
There were serious debates about this at the start of reality television.
There were, because there have been several suicides linked to Love Island in particular.
And it was generally concluded, and all the television companies said, we will be responsible, we will employ psychologists and psychiatrists on the team to make sure, but it hasn't happened.
The thing is, this lad was diagnosed when he was 9 years old, Anne, so it's a medical record, so they must have known about it. It must have been discussed. So putting the pressure on someone like him, I think, is like, what are they going for? Are they really caring about people's mental health, or are they caring about the ratings?
Oh, well, yeah.
Do you know, and the thing is, after he walked away from the programme, the producers locked him in a room literally for 2 days, took away his phone, and were trying to persuade him to go back in. So that further sort of, to me, endorses the fact that there's no level of responsibility and care placed upon him.
We shall see what the TV company involved has to say about it. I'm sure they've got some...
But I am still thrilled that I've never seen the programme, I have to be honest. No, I am.
Yeah, me too. Kevin, Dawn, thank you very much indeed. We'll catch up with you a little bit later on.